so I can save this. Okay, so when you're doing finish work, two things you got to be aware of. Okay, one is at the end of the day, make sure that you button up and put the containers in a steel container box I have back here. The other thing is all materials that have anything flammable on it should be in a can like this. Airtight. Spontaneous combustion will happen. Trust me, if you don't do that. Okay, so now, now that I got that one, for those who aren't watching, man, I'll tell you, when your hands get sticky and sweaty, they're sticky. Okay, so alright, so now the other thing is I have some monkey pod here. So my idea with this is to figure out where the center of this is and turn it. Turn. The only thing bad about this is that it's not square. Well, that's okay. I mean, I want to find out where it could be square. Right there. Okay, so now the measurement would be at 7 3/4 by 6 or 5.5. So that means, how would you turn this? So my bandsaw might be able to cut it, but it's kind of funky. I guess that's 7 5/8. I probably could go at 7. Let's just do 7. Okay, so I'm going to do 7, and I could do 7 here. And I can figure it out. So if I go 7, I might be able to do this. Okay, so now it's another thing. So I'm going to do some resin work. I'm going to do a little bit of resin work. First off, I got to see what this is. It's too heavy and rotating. Okay, so that'd be 2.5 deep. So those 2. By the time I'm through, it'd be 2. Or should I make it this size? That's bigger. It doesn't matter. I can do that. Hey there, my friend. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Still drinking coffee. I'm attempting to do something here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to put these. All right, I don't see. I'm going to cut these to fit this bowl. Yeah, I'm still wondering if I should put it in this bowl, but what I want to do is do resin work. So I'm looking at cutting these and leaving a certain amount of depth in between each one. The only problem is it's kind of small. I saw another guy do this, and I might just do this before putting in a bowl, but somehow he had all this separated. And I'm probably going to make a square. And then put the resin in the bottom of it. I was thinking about this. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is build myself forget the bowl. Okay, so I'm going to have to go like this. I have to cut, by the way, so that, just so you know, I got a bunch of pieces already cut like this, so I'm not really going to worry about it. If I run out of pieces, I have to slice those. But my idea is to take this like this All right. And then like that. Okay, so, and then I'm going to box it on the end so that when I do the resin, when I do the resin, I'm trying to see if I could do this in a circle. You know, I think I'm making it more complicated it is. For some reason, I can't get it. Hey, Gary, how you doing? Oh, well, okay, see, I saw this online on here on YouTube. There's a guy that took a bunch of stuff like this and he turned it. He put resin in it, put it in. It had a box. Basically, built a box, filled it full of resin, put it in the crock pot, and then when he pulled it out, he turned it, and it was really kind of cool looking. I kind of want to do that, but here's my problem. Okay, so now we got the cut ends on this end, all right? So I saw this guy, and I can't remember how he did it. It was a much bigger bowl. I think what he did was, and I'm trying to remember this. I think what he did was, let's see, find something smaller. Anyway, I think he cut a piece in there, put it in the middle, all right, circle. He turned it and then put it in the middle. He had the bottom turned, put it in the middle, you know, so this was a circle. And I can do this on a bandsaw. And then he had each piece going out like this. All right, so the idea here, forget about these. I mean, I'm going to use this was too skinny. I'm going to use all my scraps that I have. Well, the idea was to use my oak. All right, so so I go like this. Once I turn that piece, all right, and then I'll do each piece accordingly. So like this, then a piece like this. You get what I'm saying? Then I can make a little bowl. The only problem is these are 2 inches. When you cut the tenons off, when you cut the tenon the grooves off, you come down to 2 inches. See, these are the ones. I haven't touched these yet. I just plain took this finish off them, but they're 2.5, almost 2.5. All right, so I have to take off a half an inch, well, a quarter inch from the top and a quarter inch from about here each time I do it on the table saw. My problem is I wanted to do it out of this stuff, but I don't have enough of it. That's the problem. So, I mean, the height of the bowl, I think I'm trying to make it where it's proportionate. So I'm thinking maybe see, this size is what I kind of like to do. It's a little bit bigger. It's about 3/4 of an inch bigger. So that would be the perfect size, right? So the idea is to go like this. And then have another piece go this way. You see what I'm doing? And then what I'll do, and I'm trying to figure out if that guy went straight like this. I saw it on YouTube, and I can't find it on YouTube thing, but I'm thinking like that. And then like that. Because see, now you could do it that way. You're going to take probably that much out because the way the bowl is going to sit, I'm shaping it like this. I'm basically going to shape it like this. So that's the perfect size, but also maybe I should start with this first. Maybe I should just do these first. This is not square, by the way. So I think it's like, that's 8 inches by 7 1/4. So I'd have to square that off anyway. And you know, maybe I'll do that. What did I say it was? 7 1/4, just a hair, 7 1/4. So I have to take about 7/8 of an inch off. All right. Okay, so now if I'm going to do that, I want to find my square. Okay, so see, I could take this on my bandsaw and cut it too, so you know. Okay, so that's center. Now I'll get my compass out and make a circle. I don't know. I think I'm wasting my time. And see, I've got enough scrap in here. I don't know. It was an idea. I'm trying to experiment a little bit. Anyway. Okay. See my birdhouses? Like my psychedelic birdhouses? They're fluorescent paint. I'll tell you what, though. This paint, I had to go over it with some lacquer. But this paint, it sucks. It's, dude, you get, you know, before I sealed it really good, it started coming off. I'm like, and I, you know, anyway. Okay, so I got that. I want to get my compass out. All right, so now get 8 what I want to do here. Oh, it's right on there. That was good. Okay, so the idea with this is to take and cut this off and then cut this on the bandsaw. All right. Now, the problem I have is I can't cut with a crap. I mean, I tend to tweak it too much. So when I cut this, I'll probably end up cutting on the outside edge of the circle, and then take it over and you're gonna laugh, but I use my radial arm. I use my radial arm saw for one of those sanders. Because I haven't used it in years, other than just the sanding. I have a sanding drum on there and a disc and all that kind of stuff. But all right, so that's my idea there. Now, the idea here is to cut pieces of wood that'll fit like that. Now, if I do this right, I center this one here. After I cut it, I glue this on. I put lines across here, get it where I want them, and then glue it. One that way. It's going to take me a while to figure this out. All right, so I'll go that way, and then I'll go this way, and then I'll just build off of it. Now I could go corner to corner and finish. I've already got lines here. All right, so. Oh, the other idea I was going to do too was copy this and have a top rim too. So the only problem with that is trying to put the rim on. Do I put it in the kiln or do I leave it off? Is a question. I probably leave it off, and then what I'll do is I'll wait until the thing is dry, and then see that's I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. So anyway, enough of that for right now. I'll show you something here too. I'm currently working on that. All right, so it's turning out to be pretty good. Now this is Osage, all right, and I gotta stay. And with Osage, it has a really nice color to it. Now I'm at the stages where I need to get these rings out, right? So now, a lot of times, sanding on here doesn't do it any justice because you're going around in circles. You're kind of going against the grain a little bit. So sometimes you have to go with the grain, and that means taking it off or using your drill with one of those sanding devices on it. So I've got this. This here works really good. You can buy these pieces that go on here. They're Velcro. And then they give you extra, in case you wear the Velcro off. So, the only thing I can tell you is you can never have enough sanding devices, ever. So, okay, so now I'm going to do something first. Hang on, excuse me. Yeah. Okay, so I got that going. And it will get a little noisy in here. That's going. And then I'm going to turn this on. My idea here someday is to build a box that I can flip back and forth. So when I'm sanding, this pipe here that's over here, that's hooked up to my vacuum. That works out pretty good. Now my idea here is to try and get as much of this sanded down as I can in the inside. Now this thing works really good. Yeah, I swear by it. Now if there's any rings on here, sometimes because the action this thing does a really good job of getting it. The only part is right here. You can't get too close to it because you'll get. I've gotten my finger caught here before, so. Okay, so now what I gotta do is wipe that off. That's pretty good, actually. Good. The birds in the back. The birds in the back right here. Well, you can see it here. Okay, so what happens is here and here. So supposedly the log was like this, and the cut ends are like this, and it's against the grain basically. But that's what this is right here. And when you're working on something like this, the idea is to try and smooth that down as best you can. Turning it on the lathe a lot of times doesn't work. You have to take it off and do it by hand, or I've actually used a drill with a really coarse bit and then turned it up to 320. I think this is 120 right here. And what I'll do is do this for a while. Now you guys are watching this. If anybody's interested in this stuff, as I'm doing this, let me know. Okay, so I can give you a quote on what it costs, what I'm charging. Now I'll just say this. I'll try and be fair about it. But it's hard to do when you got to ship it. If you live clear in New England somewhere, it's going to cost you $25 for shipping. So I try to get stuff I can get wood cheap. That's the other thing. When you're doing stuff and you're trying to sell it, I do art shows. It's locally art shows. But think about this. If I'm going to charge you $25 for shipping, and that's 45, so what is that, 75? I don't know if you guys want to pay $75 for a bowl like this. And it depends on how much time I put it. See, that's the one thing you gotta understand. I'm not making profit off of this. I'm having fun, but this piece I got, let's see, this was actually one of two pieces out of that. And the other piece I got, it cost me $35 for the actually, so what half of $35? 15, 17 bucks. But I got some monkey pod there, $30 just for one piece. And that, $30 right there, and then Okay, so another thing I do is I take an air hose to it. Now you still see rings, right? Whoa, it's freezing up. Well, that's not good. Uh-oh. Well, that's a bummer. That thing's starting to hang up. Uh, okay, so now I got to use my hand sander on this. so now I got that a little bit, but I still need a little bit more work, so curious to see what this looks like. See, okay, so I just cleaned this off a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to expand you a little bit. Hey Henry, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for stopping by the mess. Okay, so there's this right here. I don't know if you guys see it. I know it's a bad spot. I have to move my camera, but when you're turning, there's some more right here. See? Pits. There's small pits. You see that right there, right? So how do you get those out of there? You know? And this is where sometimes using this works, but you gotta be careful too. Now you gotta go the way the grain is. So don't go against the grain, go with the grain. The reason I say that is because you can tear. You're actually tearing the wood. Now, when there's ever cut ends, whenever you get the rough ends of the cut, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that. This is part of it. And the key is to try and cosmetically get rid of it. Because if you see this right here, what I've done in the past is taken water and kind of gone over that just to see what happens. There's other people do something different. I'm still trying to work this out, but and there's my trusty arrows. Sometimes I'm gonna turn this off. And anyway, when I'm doing this, you can see, I want to try and bring you back. You can see that I have to take it off anyway. I've still got to sand all this, which is, I'll just do with this. And then I take a forcemeter bit to that center part, but now I'm going to show you the inside here. My light works. All right, if you see the inside, can you guys see the inside? Okay, you see the back part, right? Now I can feel that. The hardest part of this bowl is trying to get that stuff out of there. Now it's going to be on this end, it's going to be on this end. I have no idea why I got that cut on there, but the way the grain is, all right, see how that is. And Osage, I love this stuff. The only downfall is the burrs. Now, I've had people tell me to use shellac, you know, and I guess I could do that, but I use wipe-on poly a lot. So, and I haven't found a finish yet that I really like without spending a fortune on it. Now I've got mine lands friction polish. So if I put this back on here after I finish all off, and I use a friction polish, it's not bad, but you have to heat it up. The problem is that stuff shows everything. So now, when you're doing segmented rings, you don't have as much problem because you're not dealing with the rough ends of stuff. Okay, see, here's the situation. This is segmenting, right? This is one way of segmenting. So, you're not dealing with the cut ends. This way, you're dealing with a cut end. And you're actually dealing with a cut end on the sides too, but that's not going to usually have a problem there. It's always this part. Dude, why am I using a piece of flooring? That's just what I had. But anyway, the idea is when you're turning, not to have to worry about this part of it because of the burrs. Doesn't mean you can't do it. I mean, I do it all the time with my. I haven't done segmenting in a while. I just been doing raw stuff like this, and I love that Osage. You guys see the color on it? That's awesome. I don't know if I want to make another bowl like this or what I want to do. I've got another, but this bowl, when I get done with it, oh yeah, it'll be up for sale if you want it. It'll be up for sale when I get it done. I've got to finish sanding this part. But see the grain in it, you see the grain? See how that grain is? Okay, so this way it doesn't show it up as much. But that's the one thing about Osage, is you're always gonna get a good piece out of it. Now I've got a bunch more, so I love it if I can get it. But this is not cheap. This stuff is definitely not cheap. And that again, it goes into the point where how much you want to spend. It better be a good bowl if you're going to charge $100 for it. My friends in Hawaii, okay, you see some of the stuff that I've posted on here and in my other sites. The Hawaiians like to do what they call pyrography. And it's a lot of, the outside part of it will have phrases and sayings about from native Hawaiian language. Or it'll have pictures of things from like 150 years ago. It's time consuming. And there's a place up in what they call, in a big island, it's called Waimea. There's a place up there where it's an art, I don't want to say museum, but once a year in March, they have a art for a month. It's like an art show, and I didn't see one bowl in there if it was less than $350. On an average, you're looking at $500, somewhere 1,000. So something like this, I'm not gonna do that crazy with. But the time I spend on this, the idea is to get it down to a certain time, but you're not gonna spend a lot of time on it because you're never gonna make the money on. Unless you're doing mass production and you got a jig, you figure out how to do bowls. Mass production is the same old stuff. I don't like that. Every bowl I've ever done has always been one of a kind. None of them are the same. Well, there's two reasons behind that. One is, and it's kind of a joke, but it's just like the starving artist, right? Okay, so say I die and people start collecting my stuff thinking, oh, one of a kind, that's cool, you know, the Dutchmans woodchuck, he's got some really cool stuff, right? So that one of a kind artifact could be worth something. Okay, and I'll give you a good example. Van Gogh and all those other guys, same thing. Okay, now I've got a Mustang, a 66 Mustang. It's not worth squat. I mean, I can't get a lot of money out of it, but here's the reason why. From 64 and a half to 66, they all bunched everything together. So out of like 280 cars, 280,000 cars made. Mine's 109,000. Now, if you go into like the Shelby Cobras, which are only 50 made, that's where the bucks are. So, same thing goes. If you're ever trying to be an artist, don't make two of a kind. Make one of a kind. That way, at the end, if you really get popular and people like your stuff, if you die, of course, whoever's alive to take over, like your spouse or your parent family or something, they're going to get all the money, right? Well, there's always nothing good about a live artist. It's always about the dead artist, right? Okay, so I'm going to take and move this around. So hang on a second here. I was going to do a shop tour, but it's not a mess. Okay, so idea here is, turn this off now. Here's Monkey Pod. Here's Monkey Pod. It says Monkey Pod on it. You see the green on it? So now what I want to do is I want to cut this square. And what I did here is I kind of squared it off a little bit. It's kind of an oddball piece. 7 inches this way. You can't do 7 inches that way because 7 inches is up there, see? So, what I have to do is cut this piece off. And actually, I could save this and use this for pins, if I wanted to. Pin stock. So, what I'm doing here now is trying to figure out and get it all set so I can basically cut that. Oh, by the way, Henry. I made birdhouses, so I got a bunch. They're up for sale too. I think like $10. You got $10, it's yours. So now another thing is too, I found out this stuff here. If you go to I think you go to maybe Home Depot or Menards or someplace. No, Home Depot or Lowe's. You get this stuff. It's great for sanding. But one thing I got to do is figure out how to make a box for my sanding stuff. Because now you see. Now you see, here's the problem. You see this right here? My tools are a little bit dull. Now one of my buddies goes, "Oh, I never use what do you call it? Carbide tips." And I said, "Well, I use carbide tips of steel. Doesn't matter. And whether I'm using carbide tips or steel, that's what happens." Now, because I can't get where my chuck is in, I can't get the tool in there without taking a piece off of it. That's why I'm doing this. But what you end up doing, see, this is 120, right? You end up putting a coarser. Yeah, I don't want that. My handy dandy. I need to find something that's. Oh, there it is. Now, this is probably overkill. This is 80 grit. I hate to use it, but I think that's the only way when I get that. Then go back up a little bit. But just so you know, I'm going to do tool maintenance one of these days. Okay, the tool maintenance. A lot of these things are Velcro. Okay, so see that's Velcro, right? And then this one isn't Velcro. This is stick-on stuff. Okay, there's pros and cons about both. My number one issue with Velcro is this company, whatever tool you buy from, doesn't give you an extra pack. If you're gonna buy one of these, they should have a replacement for this. And I've searched, and it's Craftsman, but other tools are like this, Ryobi, Bosch, whatever. I haven't checked Festool, but I'm sure that'll cost you $100 for something like that. But anyway, what I tend to do is get a big piece, a big sheet. Now you can order them online. If you can't get the piece for this to the tool, you order them online. You take the old one off, you scribe it, you cut it with a scissors or whatever you have, and you've got an extra piece. The idea is to get they used to have a roll like this, and I don't know where I got it. Years ago, I got a roll of this stuff. It was Velcro. It was great, and replacing it's because this stuff doesn't last forever. The only bad part about Velcro is it does this a little bit. See? Especially on the tip of this thing. The other thing is with the stickum. Okay. The other thing with the stickum is it takes forever to get it off, and you find yourself fighting it constantly. I have to take this one off anyway, but here's the deal though. Again, the bottom base of this, this is all plastic. So what I would probably do in the future is I'd probably replace this Velcro. I mean, you could, or you could do it the old-fashioned way. All right, they have those things where you could, the paper ones. And by the way, if you're smart, you don't get that stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot. Don't buy their sheets. Buy the rolls. It's more efficient. It's better stuff. I get this. This is 120. The other stuff that I was using over there was 320. But you can get them in a box. You can get a whole bunch of stuff. I tend to get a lot of these things. So, and that works out great. See, it's easier to take care of. The only thing is you have to worry about is how to get them on straight. I can't do it right. So, now, I have those rings on here. Okay, so now you got that. Now that was like I say, 80 grit. I hate using 80 grit on there, but sometimes I have to get some really deep bumps, and there were gouges in there were forever. Now you can go back to polishing it with. now gonna get my Alright, so here we go. Here we go. That looks much better. Now, there are little bumps. Oh, this is kind of funny. The other day I was looking at this, right? And look at this. It looks like it's right in here. It looks like it's bleeding. I looked at them and they go, I cut my hand, I'm looking at it. It looks like it's bleeding. It's weird. But you see there's little dimples there? You see that? Anyway. Alright, well, enough of that. Please, if you're new, subscribe. I appreciate it. Ask me questions, leave me comments. I also want to know what you guys would like to see. Now, I'm going to start getting into some different projects other than turning. So, I'm going to do turning still, but I'm going to start making furniture. And I have to take a bunch of this wood, cut it down, and glue it together because I'm making my legs. You'll see. What do they say? Okay, so these are 2 inches this way, right? Oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. Those are wider than 2 inches. Wrong. Well, I still got to hook up my... Okay, so... Funky daisy. Alright, so... 2 inches this way. A little under. Okay, so that's 2 inches that way. And this... inch and 7/8, or no, inch and 3/8. So what I have to do, in order for me to make a leg that's halfway decent size, I have to glue 3 of them up. Yep. Okay, so what I'll be doing is taking stuff like this, all right, and cutting it down, and then gluing it. That's the other stage. That's coming up because I want to make a piece of furniture. Now you see the one over here. That's for sale too. All right. I made this a while ago. And it is made out of all this stuff. This is oak flooring. This is oak flooring. Pretty much the whole thing is made out of oak flooring. And all I can tell you is that that's a simple one. I was learning a long time ago. That's probably 10 years old. I used to make a lot of furniture. And then the economy got bad. People stopped buying it. So there you go. But I'll be selling it next Saturday, May 18th, I think. I'll be at the Batavia Farmers Market / Artisans Row. At the back half of it, it'll be the northern half of that farmers market on River Street, downtown Batavia. Come see me. Come talk to me. If you want to learn more about turning or woodworking, I'll be glad to help you out. If you want to learn about some of the clubs I'm in, I'll be able to help you out on that one too. The 2 clubs I'm in is I'm also an AAW member. I'm Fox Valley Woodworkers meets the first Tuesday of every month in Batavia at 7, and Windy City Turners, which is is more turning than anything else, is and making pins and bowls and whatever. They meet the 3rd Wednesday. I think it's coming up day after tomorrow. I have to go. 3rd Wednesday of every month, and they're off of Hillside Road in Naperville. It's just off the 88, so feel free and please. I'm trying to get more people on here, and I'm trying to get a business going. So I love doing this stuff, and I love showing you guys. I really do. I love woodworking. It's something my God gave me the gift, the hands to do, and takes the tension away for the day. I got a Mustang I'm working on too, so when I get fed up with that, I come in and do this. Instead of going around in circles on that car, I go around in circles in here. So God bless you guys. Have a great Monday night. I'm going to go see if there's a car show on tonight. Rookies in St. Charles. Talk to you later. God bless.